And it's a double upload day, I guess. We have all 30 of the Team Affinity bosses, the new Jolt series to start the year for MLB The Show 25 in the comments section. Maybe let me know your favorite team, your boss, how you're feeling about it. Obviously, I'm a Cardinals fan, so we'll go ahead and talk about that. But let's go through all 30 of the new Jolt series, the first Team Affinity rewards for MLB The Show 25. Now, I just want to start by turning off the camera in case there's any boss you want to see in specific. We can literally see them all right here. I'm going to go a little bit slower. I'm going to go one by one, maybe give my thoughts if I have any, take a look at the new legends we can see, everything like that. Obviously go over cards that I have known and loved in the past. Now, the first thing that stands out to me is in some years it's been like this, but I feel like recently, the last few years, the overalls have been pretty much the same for the cards. Now, it's not a big difference, but we see 85s and we see 86s. So that is slightly different than they've done things, I feel like, in the past. Seeing some different overalls rather than everybody the exact same overall, but it's 85 and 86. It's right around the same thing. And I think the best way for me to do this is literally go from top left and just go all the way through them. So some of these we've already seen, but Matt Holliday we know is the Athletics Jolt series, that first boss for Team Affinity. I like the look of the card arts. Card art looks pretty clean to me. I'm a Cardinals fan. Matt Holliday, I've always loved using his cards. Used to love watching him play for the Cardinals, and I'm excited to have him as the ace card, an early diamond for me to use. Tom Glavine, he's nasty for me. I don't like facing him, and I like using him on the mound, so that'll be a good card for me to go after. Justin Martinez, I haven't really used Justin Martinez cards. Don't have too much to say about him. I'm curious how y'all feel about that. A relief pitcher. I feel like an 85 reliever, for me, always seems to be better than an 85 position player. But Justin Martinez for the D-backs. Cal Ripken Jr. for the Orioles. For me, he's so hit or miss. If his card's good, I love him. Other times, though, the card just, I can't play well with it. He's not one of those guys where I always like his swing. Now, on defense, he's usually pretty insane. But for the offensive side of things, sometimes he'll play above his attributes for me. Other times he won't. It's really a feel thing for me with Cal Ripken Jr. But sometimes I like his cards, sometimes I don't. We'll see how this one plays. Clay Buchholz for the Red Sox. And hopefully I don't accidentally mislabel a team or something, because sometimes I'd be messing up the teams that a card is on. But Clay Buchholz, new legend for MLB The Show 25. He gets that first Team Affinity card for the Red Sox. I remember not liking using him in MLB The Show 15 or 16, right? I remember not being the biggest fan of his cards, but who knows how this one will play with him as a new legend. Alfonso Soriano for the Cubs. I've liked using him ever since he got added as a new legend for MLB The Show. I see a left field primary, but I'm guessing he probably is a second base secondary. You'll probably be able to put him in a lot of different positions. Johnny Bench, I swear, he's always getting a card for Team Affinity for the Red Sox. This year's going to be no difference. He gets their first one. I'm not the best with Johnny Bench cards. I know a lot of people do like using him. I think I'll probably have somebody else at catcher early on in the year unless there's no other options. Andrew Miller, same thing for a lot of relievers, a lot of pitchers. I like using them. I don't like facing them. But Andrew Miller, he'll be on that all-time Cardinals team. Todd Helton for the Rockies. He's got a nice swing, but with Frank Thomas right next to him, there's no way I'm using Todd Helton. Maybe some platoon type of deal, but Frank Thomas, always one of my favorite legends every year. I have barely used them the last couple of years, especially MLB 24. I barely used them. This gives me a chance to use Big Frank again early on in the year, man. I can't wait for that. I'm really excited to see him as the White Sox card. Jackson Joby for the Tigers. Haven't really used his cards too much. Don't got a lot to say about him. Same with Justin Martinez. Now he's a starter at 86. I wonder if there's any, I wonder if all starters are 86. No, because here's a first baseman. Okay, so no, I was thinking maybe it would be starting pitchers, but no, that's not how they're doing it. Let me scroll down a little bit. Craig Biggio, catcher primary for the Astros. I like third leg Craig. I like using his cards. Might be my catcher option. If I'm not using somebody else, hey, it might have to be Craig Biggio then. George Brett at third base. I like that. Unless there's a Chipper Jones, I might have to use George Brett's. I really do like his swing. And for me, his power usually plays above the attributes for it. I don't know what it is, but his swing, I always just like it more than I like the attributes on the card itself. But I'm a George Brett fan for sure, and MLB The Show. Couple new legends right around here. We see Bobby Grich to start for the Angels. I don't know anything about him. Y'all are going to have to help me out with him because I know nothing about him. I do know that Max Muncy has a sweet, sweet swing. And with the power creep returning in 85 Max Muncy, probably some low contact, high power. I'm excited for that. Hopefully he has a second base secondary. Maybe they'll use him as the DH. Don't think his fielding would be that amazing. Preston Wilson, new legend. I don't know too much about Preston Wilson either, but new legend. I'm curious to see. Center field primary. Is that our first center fielder we've seen? I think that's the first center field primary we've seen. Maybe, I was about to say chat, comments, you could help fill me in on Preston Wilson. Raleigh Fingers, you don't got to fill me in on him. I love Raleigh Fingers cards. I always use him as one of my go-to relievers in the bullpen. I'm sure this will be no different to start the year. A diamond, 85 Raleigh Fingers with his power creep. Another new legend, Jim Kotz. I'm guessing it's Cat, like cats, but I really don't know. Meow meow. He's someone else I don't really know too much about. Please, comment section, fill me in. Jim Cat, Twins fans, are you excited? I'm not a Twins fan. I got a twin brother. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not a Twins fan, but he gets the card right here. John Franco for the Mets. Now, he's somebody where I don't like facing him, but I don't like using him. I get shelled when I use John Franco. I try to use that screwball. I hang it. I try to mix in other pitches. I just don't do it too well. Now, Babe Ruth, I was wondering about him because I talked about some other guys. Hey, maybe using him as the DH. I love Babe Ruth's swing. We saw his attributes already. They're looking pretty solid, especially for an 85, especially to start the year. With the power creep being back, yeah, it's an 85, but compared to everybody else, he's going to be one of, if not the best hitting cards in the game. But I'm scared how his fielding is going to be. I don't think he was ever known for his defense too much. So Babe Ruth might just be my DH. I'm guessing it's not going to be a two-way Babe Ruth. It doesn't look like it with that primary right field. And now for the bottom row, I think I'll probably let's just make the camera a little bit smaller so we're not cutting off the bottom of the card. But we got Kyle Schwarber. Okay. Wait, maybe I want to use him as my DH though. Dang. I mean, depending on his fielding ratings, we're going to have to wait and see exactly what I do. Maybe he's got some secondaries in there too. I'm guessing probably not that catcher secondary, but man, who do I use as my DH? Who do I put in the field? Who do I put on the bench? Who do I not have on my team at all? We got a lot of good options. And speaking of a lot of good options, I love Andrew McCutchen's swing. That retro finest 99 Andrew McCutchen, what was that? Was that MLB 23 or 22? God, there's no way that was MLB 22, right? There's no way that was that long ago. Either way, though, there was a 99 retro finest Andrew McCutchen. I think a big collection reward. And I fell in love with McCutchen cards since then. And I'm hoping this card is good. I'm hoping the furry convention is in town all year long because I'm excited for this Andrew McCutchen. Joe Musgrove, I don't really use his cards. He's the Padres boss. Padres fans, how do y'all feel about that? Anybody, how do y'all feel about that? I've never really used Joe Musgrove cards too often except for maybe some BR. Richie Sexson was a new legend, I believe, last year. And his swing was way better than I was expecting. I feel like he had one of those swings where the ball just exploded off of his bat. I'm hoping it'll be the same for this Mariners cards. But we got a lot of first base options. I don't think I see a spot for him in my starting lineup. But I do like Richie Sexton's swing. And something I keep in mind is maybe Battle Royale. He's somebody who I might draft if he pops up in a diamond round. Hank Thompson for the Giants. Third base card. I'm really liking the look of this card art. I'm really liking the look of Jim Edmonds right next to him. I love Jim Edmonds cards, especially when he gets one that's kind of at the top. Now, I don't know if Team Affinity cards are going to be at the top, but these cards should all be able to play at least for the first few weeks, first month or so of MLB 25 with the power creep returning, and Jim Edmonds might have to be my center fielder. I know there's a lot of other options for the outfield and everything like that, but I really love Jim Edmonds' swing. As a Cardinals fan, I just love using Jim Edmonds in general. Grew up watching him. There was this highlight video to the song by Fatboy Slim right here, right now. Please tell me somebody else saw that highlight video back in the day on YouTube, man. But it made me fall in love with Jim Edmonds, basically. And I can't wait to use this card. I might have to do the Cardinals Team Affinity first. It's either going to be them or the White Sox, I think, the ones that I try to knock out early on. Or it might be the Blue Jays, though. Speaking of the American League East, we got Junior Caminero for the Rays. Haven't really used his cards a whole lot. Ian Kinsler, I always want to use his cards because the last few years they've given him good cards. I just can't do good with them, though. We got James Wood for the Nationals. Haven't used his cards too often either. We got a lot of outfielder. I guess with 30, we got a lot of everything, though. With 30 teams, I feel like starting pitching might be the thing we're kind of lacking on overall. But we do have some starters. And speaking of, we got Roy Halladay, one of my favorite pitchers every year for the last few years, including MLB 24, 23. Like, I've loved using Roy Halladay cards. I'm excited that he gets a diamond from Team Affinity early on. I know he's going in my rotation. And right away, I think I got some for sure guys going on my team. We also have some position battles already because I know I want Roy Halladay, Jim Edmonds, McCutchen, Schwarber, Babe Ruth, Raleigh Fingers, Muncy, Brett, Biggio, Frank Thomas, Andrew Miller, Soriano, Cal Ripken Jr., Tom Glavine, Matt Holliday. Like, there's a lot of guys I want. I'm going to have to go through all those names that I just said and see if there's a way for me to get all of those guys on one team. And I'm definitely going to be doing an all Team Affinity team build at some point once I've unlocked all the cards. But I'm curious to see who you're most excited for. Is there anyone you were hoping to see for your favorite team instead? I'm honestly happy with Jim Edmonds to start the year. I'm happy with that. I would have liked a Mason Wynn. I would have liked a Jordan Walker. Even Wilson Contreras would have been pretty nice as well. There's some other cards that I definitely would have enjoyed, like a JJ Weatherholtz, but I'm sure they got something planned for that. And I'm excited for Jim Edmonds. That's definitely somebody I'm happy to see versus some other cards that they might have done. But I'm curious to see your thoughts on everything down in the comments section. Only a few days away from early access, about a week away from the full launch of MLB The Show 25. Feel free to drop a like if y'all enjoyed. Subscribe for daily MLB The Show 25 uploads, maybe even some double uploads like today. You might enjoy one of these on screen, another on the channel. Otherwise, hopefully I'll see y'all in tomorrow's daily upload, where we will be literally just pretty much one day away, a day and a half from the early access coming out of MLB The Show 25. It's kind of crazy.